Good evening and welcome to the June 5, 2025 Whitestown Board of Zoning Appeals meeting. Oh, and our last member is just showing up, so we will wait for Andrew McGee. I just started, Andrew. But glad you're here. Don't sit down. We're going to do the Pledge of Allegiance now. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Okay, moving on. If we got the roll call, please.
Mr. Snowberger.
Here.
Mr. McGee.
Here.
Mr. Kingshill.
Here.
Ms. Haas.
Here.
Mr. Eakins.
Here.
Let the record reflect all members are present.
Thank you. Moving on to the minutes from our last meeting, which was May 1st, 2025. We have had an opportunity to review those minutes. Are there any comments or questions or amendments to the minutes? If not, I'd entertain a motion to approve.
I'll make a motion to approve the May 1st, 2025 meeting minutes.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
Thank you. We have a motion to approve by Mr. Snowberger, second by Mr. Akins. All those in favor say aye.
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 All approved, same sign. And all opposed, same sign, I'm sorry. And I don't hear any opposition, so we have, the minutes are approved 4-0. Thank you. Moving on to public request to speak. I don't believe I have any written requests. Is there anyone online that wants to speak to us on an item not on the agenda?
No one online has requested to speak.
Thank you. Moving on, I don't believe we have any presentations. No old business. We move now to new business. Item BZA 25-007-SE, Gerber Collision and Glass. If we can get an introduction from the staff, please.
So as you may recall, Noah joined us a few months ago. Noah's now completed his master's and is freed up on evenings to join us again. Noah's going to present this case to you here this evening. In the future, we'll actually be able to Noah will be able to do this remotely and not have to go up there, but this evening he is going to be presenting from out there for all of you.
Great, thanks. Welcome, Noah.
Thank you. Here we go. Okay, so this is the highlighted there in the blue is the location of the proposed Gerber Collision and Repair. Can see the extreme edges of the current Whitestown town boundaries in the yellow. The applicant is requesting a special exception to allow a collision and glass repair facility as a special exception in the general business zoning district. As proposed, a little over 16,000 square foot building, 55 parking spaces, provided hours of 8 to 5, and potential for outdoor storage. We'll get into this a little bit later, but they show a tentative access off of Traditions Drive. And then at the bottom, we can see a table and that the automobile service is heavy, where it's permitted and where it's not, and it is only allowed as a limited special exception in the general business zoning district. Automobile service is heavy. Definition states as establishments providing major repairs to the servicing of automobiles, including engine, overhaul or replacement, bodywork, upholstery work, glass replacement, transmission overhaul, brake repair with drum and disc grinding, replacement of electrical accessories, such as starters and alternators, frame alignment, and rebuilding of wrecked automobiles, excluding commercial wrecking, dismantling, junkyard, truck, and tractor repair. The comprehensive plan shows this area as commercial, though we can observe its relatively close proximity to both light and heavy industrial areas. The zoning district, it's in the general business zoning district, though we can see a bit of the I-65 overlay zone present as well. There's a variety of uses in the area, so the highlighted in red are the various commercial uses. I've highlighted a couple of them. It's directly next to Tractor Supply. There is some single-family residential uses. As shown earlier, those are just northwest there, approximately the nearest one house, by my measurement, was approximately 500 feet away. And then further to the south, we can see the beginning of those industrial uses off of Indianapolis Road. The applicant provided a preliminary concept plan. It's not obviously very easy to see, but it shows roughly what it may look like on the site, and we can also see where Traditions Drive is and Indianapolis Road is on the site. They could access from either, as their site plan shows. There's proposed access off of Traditions Drive, which is a private street, and the only public street that they front is Indianapolis Road, which would be their rear. Highlighted there again shows the proposed access. And this becomes relevant when we consider these the conditions that were included by staff. If this were double frontage road, if Traditions Drive were a public street, then it would then the rear would be considered Indianapolis Road, and because that's within so many feet of the right-of-way, it generates that additional landscaping requirement. As it stands, the only front yard is Indianapolis Road, and the other condition, this a little out of order, but the other condition just is on use, and it is limiting what would happen under this special exception to strictly just the collision and the collision repair use. And then these are your findings of fact.
Great, thank you. And now if the petitioner would like to give a presentation.
Well, good evening. For those that you do not know me, I'm Jerry Kittle with Innovative Engineering. Our office is 3961 Perry Boulevard, Whitestown, here in Indiana. With me tonight is Justin Furr on behalf of the petitioner. Justin's with Gemini CRE, and to his right is one of my employees, Kevin Roberts, one of the engineers on the particular project. Noah, thank you very much. You probably took all my thunder for the entire show, and your slides are probably better than mine. So we are here tonight representing Gerber Collision and Glass. It is proposed on about a 1.7 acre lot within Whitestown Crossing, part of the Whitestown Crossing project. We've done the introduction. Again, just located to the kind of, I'll call it west side of I-65. Neighboring businesses you've already heard in the previous presentation. Our closest proximity is obviously the Marathon, the Tractor Supply, that's kind of, I'll call it our northeast boundary, and then obviously White Cap that is more to the northwest. Just because we've talked about it already, we concur with the staff comments. I wanted to bring this plan in. This gives a little bit more detail than what maybe Noah's slide had. We've had the opportunity to go ahead and file for the DPR, obviously subject to approval here tonight from the BZA, but in working ahead and doing that, you'll see that we've agreed to the additional landscaping requirements that's been requested. In this particular slide, there is also landscape to be noted between us and Tractor Supply to our kind of northeast quadrant that is already there. You might also notice on the south side of the property line, there is a considerable amount of green space left. When we originally did the Whitestown Crossing project, we intended for the road or the entrance across from Indianapolis Road where Whitecap is to intersect and come into this particular area of the site. We chose, after looking at the site in multiple scenarios, to provide the access off of Traditions Drive, the private drive, as you just heard it referred to. It really does several things for us. One, this is not a use that we anticipate heavy traffic. The lot or the back of the area is screened with a fence, so you will not be able to see vehicles there waiting to get into the shop. The portion adjacent to Traditions Drive will be for employee parking. So those gates, that area will not be open unless a vehicle is coming in to get serviced. This will be a body shop and glass repair for automobiles, light passenger vehicles. So with that said, here again, just some highlights surrounding impacts, the community surrounding the park. You see in this that the industrial, commercial, other sites that we have located in the park. And then Noah's already talked about, we're in existing GB zoning, but the way the UDO is written to allow the body shop to come in, we need the special exception. We've agreed to the other comments. This just gives you a snapshot. I know we're not here. We're going to be back at DPR level, but we just wanted you to present with the information we have. I will say this slide's pretty accurate except for the palm trees. The palm trees, probably not going to happen. But this gives you an idea generally of what the building's going to look like and more information to follow as we go through the process, obviously subject to your review and approval. So with that, I'll conclude my presentation. If you have any questions, I'll be happy to ask them. We'll try to answer. Justin's here to answer from a business standpoint. We would appreciate your review and favorable approval. Thank you.
Great, thank you. Any, before we get to the public hearing, any questions or comments for the staff or for the petitioner? Well, I'll reserve that question for later. Okay, so let's go ahead and open up the public hearing. I'll open the public hearing at 6:43. Looks like I have one request to speak. Burns is the last name? Burris. I'm sorry, I can't.
Good evening. My name is Roger Burris. I'm an attorney with offices at 410 West Oak Street in Zionsville. And I'm here on behalf of Candace Smith and Kyle Warman, who are the owners of several parcels of land to the northwest of this property. The map that I just passed out shows the area, and also I highlighted in red the parcels that are owned by my clients, Candace Smith and Kyle Warman. So you can see they're just northwest. There is some separation. There's the Whitecap building, along with two retention ponds that kind of separate this area from my clients. But the key there is that my client's property is all agricultural and residential uses. So from a zoning standpoint, we think that's significant when you talk about proposed uses that are going to be in an area such as this. And I'd like to compliment your staff on a good staff report, and we appreciate the conditions that they suggested, that being that there be a limit on the uses, so there's no junkyard type dismantling or truck or tractor repair. Also, the landscape provisions we agree with. And if you decide to approve this, we would suggest a third condition, and I think it might have been shown on their plans because it looked like, I think they're required under your zoning ordinance to have a solid fence or wall. And so I think I saw something in black on that last piece, and that's probably for development plan approval when that would be looked at more closely. But aside from those conditions, which we support, my clients are still concerned that with this requiring a special exception, we think that the auto repair, this being the heavy auto repair, because it's significant repairs to vehicles, not just like oil changes and stuff like that, which I assume would be light repairs. But heavy repairs are not, I would say, typical in a general business district. Obviously, your ordinance allows for them with a special exception, and I think the rationale behind that is so that you can take a closer look at them and see, you know, if it's really going to cause any harm to the neighbors. And we certainly acknowledge that there are industrial uses in the area that have already been approved, but in our view, allowing a auto repair heavy in this area is potentially going to open up additional undeveloped lots to maybe even heavier auto repair businesses. So that's our primary concern. And you know, we do not object to the existing uses, the Tractor Supply, the gas station. I understand there's a Taco Bell coming in, but the way we see it, this use is not consistent with those type uses. Those are much less significant to the neighborhood. Another example I would give you is that, you know, when people go home to their homes, they want to relax. They don't want to hear auto repair businesses when they are in their backyards. And I think that's probably why in your ordinance, auto services light is a permitted use, but auto services heavy requires a special exception. So we would ask you to take a hard look at this, and we think I'm not sure that they've met their burden of proving that this would not be harmful to some of their neighbors, which is one of the findings that you have to make under the standards for a special exception approval. So thank you for listening, and if I can answer any questions, I'd be happy to do so. Thank you.
Thank you. Do we have any other requests to speak?
Not received any other requests to speak on this item.
All right, is there anyone else in the audience tonight that would like to address the board with regard to this item? Seeing none, I will close the public hearing at 6:48. Would the petitioner like to respond?
Yes, thank you. Thank you, Mr. Burris and Mrs. Smith, for bringing those up to, I think they're valid questions. One thing maybe to reinforce, this is body shop, collision for only light trucks and passenger automobiles. So we're not doing heavy trucks. All the work is done fully inside the building. There is nothing done. It's all brought into the building, and the work is performed inside the building in controlled environment. As far as opening the doors up, if you will, or Pandora's box for allowing some other type of heavy use in one of these other lots, certainly that would have to come back to this board, and it would have to be reviewed as case-by-case basis as you sit here as members of BZA. So understand those concerns. Hopefully that addresses it. We have agreed to, like I said, the additional landscaping. The lot where the storage will be fenced with a solid opaque type fence that is going to go around that area. The only open areas, again, for the employee parking, so those areas are not getting mixed. Hopefully that answers their questions. If there are other questions, we'll try to answer those as well.
I was going to ask earlier about the fence. I had seen the reference in the staff report. I think that is it the UDO that requires the 10-foot solid fence, or up to 10 feet?
It's 7 feet, but yes, the outdoor storage section of the UDO requires it.
And so are you saying that you'll have a solid fence around the back portion, and there's just a portion that is the black vinyl?
Yes.
Or are you saying that black vinyl is the solid fence?
That black vinyl fence, and this is not a slatted. Sometimes you see the chain link with the slatted, and you can see through that. If you get the right angle, you can still see through that. We are not talking about that. We're talking a solid, we chose black in this case, and it wraps around from basically the sides and the back of this building. So the only area that's open, again, is just employee parking.
And that satisfies the staff? Okay. Any other questions for the petitioner from the board? Now's the time. Or of staff.
I have a question. So on the staff report, it says that it's unknown how many of these spaces, 55 parking spaces, would be used for outdoor storage, vehicles repaired. So the fence goes, it's most of the parking, right?
It does. Basically, I'll just use this as a reference.
Yeah.
Maybe a third of the southeast portion of that site is available for employee parking. Everything else is fenced around the perimeter of this site. So there'll be no view of any of that back storage lot. There is area to this lot that is in that south that you see that will remain as green space.
Are those the gates to the fence showing on both sides? Kind of?
Yes,
All right.
yes, there's a gate on each side.
So when a wrecker or a tow truck brings a vehicle, which is probably happens quite a bit, there are people that drive their vehicles in, but some are being brought in by a tow truck, and they will be towed into the back section. They won't be left out front.
That is correct. They will be towed around. That's the reason we have gates on each side of the building. There'll be a circular pattern to be able to drop the vehicle and exit with either the rollback type truck or tow truck.
And what if it's after hours?
Justin, I don't know if they're not going to permit a vehicle to come in after hours.
Yeah, but what's going to happen is the tow truck's going to leave a vehicle. They're going to tow it. If someone's, well, I guess it's not. This is, well, I don't know. If someone has a breakdown, they get towed at odd hours. But when it's a body repair, maybe they don't. They come at regular hours, don't they?
I mean, I would assume, even if that does happen, it's probably left out front until the next morning. It wouldn't be stored out there. Okay.
Does the building or the doors have any kind of sound dampening plans?
I can't answer that.
Nothing.
I can't
just
answer that at this time, but for DPR, I can answer that. I can find that information out. I will tell you this, and while we were talking about it, the customer will receive, if you saw in the elevations, the one door that was visible on the front, going the right way or not. Yes, that door. That's where the customer will pick up their vehicle inside. They will not pick it there. So some body shops, you take the vehicle after it's done, it's parked outside until the customer comes. This is more like a dealership where you pick up your vehicle that's been washed, cleaned, and ready to go. The pickup will actually happen, delivery will happen to the customer inside this building.
I have three questions, actually. I keep seeing reference that a tradition drive is a private drive. So my question is, basically, who owns that drive, one? Two, who maintains it? And three, is there a need for Gerber to have permission to actually use that drive
Okay.
for the business?
Good question. So, without giving you a whole lot of history here, Innovative is also a part of Valenti Held, which is the developer of this industrial park. We set that up as a private drive. That's ingress, egress easement is in place for that. And the association of Whitestown Crossing LLC and everyone that participates in that park through our review and control participates in the maintenance of that drive.
Okay. And my thought is also that there will be probably more traffic now coming through there with the tow trucks, with the weight of a vehicle maybe on the truck and so forth. And how is that going?
Sure,
Impact.
likely there will be. Also to be noted, though, as a general business and going through the primary plating, development plan, infrastructure process of the overall Whitestown Crossing Park, there were traffic studies done, and they were more intense user as they anticipated general business, retail mix, some light industrial in that particular park. I'm sure if we redid a traffic study for this, we'll find out the trips would be significantly less because this is going to be destination orientated, that this is going to be a destination that you're going to need to travel to, or a tow truck consumer is going to come in. It will not have the traffic that our next door neighbor has as retail, as Tractor Supply. The street, however, even though it's private, we'll go ahead and address this. The asphalt section, everything that street was built to was still your commercial asphalt section.
Okay. Thank you.
I think you said it already, I just want to make sure, the suggested conditions, you've seen those already in amenable to
We've
those?
already incorporated those into the plans that were actually filed yesterday.
make sure.
So, yes. Again, assuming it moves forward.
There was also a question or a concern voiced in terms of the noise level. And for the shop itself, I'm sure that it does have the paint booth, and there's the exhaust system that will be exhausting the fumes and so forth. Is that going to pose any type of noise issue?
I don't see that as a noise issue problem at all. The state requirements and state of Indiana for paint booths and such, there is a paint booth in Peyton Crane, which was another piece of a project that we did within Whitestown Park, Whitestown Crossing LLC. So those levels are also governed beyond. They'll have to meet their paint booth specs, not only from fumes, but flammable materials, et cetera.
Sure.
That still has to meet all state requirements for that can move forward. Good question.
I have a question for Mr. Burris.
Yes.
This residential area, I don't believe that's in Whitestown, correct? Where is that, Lebanon?
That's
or-
Zionsville
It's Zionsville.
jurisdiction, and then north of 400 south is Lebanon.
Okay, yeah. So there's one parcel, it looks like that you outlined in red that's north. of
Yes.
400. Yeah, that would be Lebanon.
Yes.
Okay. I just wanted to be clear on that.
And the zoning on all that's either ag or resident. I think it's all agriculture zoning classification.
Yeah.
But obviously, there's plenty of residential use in there.
Right.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
question for staff. What kind of, so Whitecap is a building materials? Do they do a lot of, like, what exactly do they do?
Yeah, so Whitecap is everything from like construction tool to small equipment.
Like rental?
Right.
Okay.
Any other questions? Any?
Yes, I have one. In terms of Whitecap, their leasing of equipment and so forth, and if we're talking about the noise issue or not an issue, I'm just wondering, when they're leasing items, I'm sure that they have to start them up, and they may have diesel engines and large equipment and so forth. Is that your knowledge of how they do things there?
I'm not aware that they do any of their servicing or anything on-site. Most of it gets delivered off-site. I don't believe they have anything other than very small equipment that
Okay,
they,
small equipment, but
Right.
not a diesel truck that has to be started up.
Right.
loaded
Yeah,
on a
they don't
trailer
have-
with the noise issue.
right.
Okay, thank you.
The Blue Beacon truck wash that's now been built, and it came before us on materials. Did it come up before us on a use exception as well, or was that just the materials?
There was a number of requests. I believe that was all architectural related.
Yeah, that's what I thought. That use, is that the similar zoning there? Is that GB zoning at that point? Because we have a map.
I say Alan's looking that up.
Yeah, it's all GB.
So the truck wash was a permitted use, I guess not considered a heavy automotive use?
I don't recall all of those requests that we did. I mean, we could try to pull those up real quick in the case viewer to see if there was a special exception required.
Well, I'm just thinking of the use. I mean,
Right.
that use, is that considered a lighter use than this use?
We'll research that here real quick and let you know what the UDO calls it.
Because I think sometimes we get hung up on the word heavy. And, you know, I think the petition is pretty clear that they're limiting what they're going to do. And I think the restriction runs with the land or not.
Correct. So the special exception would run with the land, so it's there for that. Anybody who uses it after that would have to meet the same requirements.
Okay. Did you want to speak to us?
I just wanted to, Candace Smith, I own that land just right there with that Whitecap right there on my property line, and you asked about the noise. It's the semi-trucks coming in. It's the slamming of the trailer gates. It's the backup beepers. It's the trash blowing over the fence. It's, they're slamming up their garage doors, guys yelling. It's not quiet. They may sell quiet stuff, but it is a commercial operation. You also mentioned, which Roger's not going to be happy with me because I asked him if I should step up here and talk. But you mentioned the blue truck stop. I don't believe any of us came ahead and put any kind of objection to that. But none of us realized it was 24/7, that lighting is, it's just blinding. It's the lightest thing in there. She lives in the house closest to it, which I own. She's my tenant. Her dog barks constantly because of them outside yelling, 11 o'clock at night. I hate to say it, but they had the legal right to do it, but that didn't mean we should have done it. Okay? It's kind of like with this situation here. 10 years, 12 years ago, when all this was supposed to be developed, there, the whole neighborhood of Saratoga put a lot of money out, a lot of time and energy, and there was a plan put together that this was supposed to be low-end retail, low traffic, and this wasn't supposed to be happening. And they're so burned out that most of them have moved out, and the new people have no clue. We can't get that momentum back going again. But this, put in a doctor's office, put in a dentist, put in a bank, put in something that's gonna at least help our land value a little bit instead of, 24-hour semi-truck wash. That's not helping me much at all. But that's my 2 cents. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, car washing or washing in general is allowed in automobile services light.
It's considered automobile services light.
Yeah.
Car washing.
It just says washing. I added car. Sorry.
Oh.
It just says washing.
Okay.
Yeah, so I pulled up the case, so it took a approval from this board also for the heavy.
For the use.
For the heavy, yep.
And it was heavy. Oh, so it was the same question we're here
Correct.
tonight. That was, what was the date on that?
January of '23,
23?
yes.
I have a question in reference to Gerber. Is there a back garage door to your building, or does everything go through this front door here? I mean, this front.
No,
Right.
there are some back bays, back doors that, well, obviously, they get the vehicles in. This door that you're seeing in the elevation now, like I said, is reserved for when they finish the product and the customer picks it up, that'll be a delivery area for the car. But yes, there are, to answer your question, some doors on what I'll call the north side that backs up to that area and around to the east. Yeah, there's the
Yeah, there's
side.
nothing of the roof.
Sides,
Okay,
not
the
back.
side doors?
Yes.
Okay.
I guess that's the only shot that I really have tonight to show you.
So vehicles get delivered, some get driven in, by the owner, some are delivered by a wrecker. And when that happens, well, how are vehicles moved around in the back lot? Dollies. Actually, you need to come forward if you speak, because we need to get you on the record, and give us your name.
My name's Justin Furr. I'm the developer, Gemini Commercial Real Estate. Our address is P.O. Box 38, Fortville, Indiana. Yes, the deliveries would be made inside the fence, moved around with dollies, depending on the amount of damage, or driven, if possible, into the building to be repaired, and then back out if they were waiting for other parts, or then out the front to be delivered back to the customer.
So the noise that we're thinking about are going to be pneumatic drills and things like that, right? That we mostly hear if we're in the vicinity.
Correct.
And how does that fence material work in terms of a noise suppressor, if at all? Do you know?
In general, the doors are closed nearly all the time unless cars are coming in or out. The fence would add an additional buffer. So you're doing work inside a building with closed doors, plus a fence, plus landscaping. In this case, to the remonstrator's point, there's multiple other buildings in between them and this work. So the likelihood of them hearing anything happening here is extremely low.
So just so I understood you right, the building's going to be conditioned so that, middle of the summer, you're not going to have the overhead doors open
No,
just to
correct.
get airflow through and that stuff?
Right.
Okay.
I'm familiar with the one in Westfield. I've taken my vehicle there once, and that's out in front of a Kroger. Are you familiar with that one?
Yes.
And that's in an even less sort of commercial area or heavy commercial area than this is, or that this probably will be. And my experience there is I've never really noticed. Before I had to use it, I never really noticed it was there.
Right. Yeah, the vast majority of customers are sent to the operation by their insurance company.
Right.
So
Right.
it's not a lot of in and out traffic unless, they've been told to take their car there to get it repaired and then they come pick it up. The location in Fishers is on Allisonville, just south of 116th Street, right in the middle of a retail area with
Right.
zoning, with residential right behind.
Residential right behind it, yeah. Yeah, I mean, other than this residential area being so close, it seems to me that it's a perfect location for a body shop, in Whitestown. I mean, I have a hard time figuring, what other general location we'd want to have a body shop.
Yeah, I would agree. This is pretty close to a lot of industrial. It's separated by Indianapolis Road, the retention ponds, Whitecap. There's no access to Indianapolis Road. And you said a 7-foot tall fence is the plan? You can do up to 10, but 7 foot's required, sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry, I shouldn't say plan. 7 foot's required, but you can do up to 10 per the UDO. Correct, staff?
I think that's what I said.
Yeah.
It's 7 feet, it's not up to 10 feet.
Oh, I thought that's what it said, staff report.
Does it?
All right. Yeah, I know, I'm not crazy.
We would commit to an 8-foot tall fence, just to give a little extra height than that to try to make sure we don't want things showing up back there either. So, if that,
So you're offering an 8-foot fence?
we would do an 8-foot tall fence.
We're not going to turn that down.
All right.
We understand that.
All right, we found it. It's on page 3. All right. Fences are allowed to be as much as 10 feet height in all yards. All right.
Is
But you're
there,
committing to 8 foot now?
We will.
Can we add that condition now?
You want it to be on the record, so read into the record as part of your findings of facts when you adopt the findings of facts. So as you discuss the findings of facts, if you are going to, the motion is going to be to approve the special exception, it would be with the added condition of, so it's recorded, and then we'll have to make sure that we get it in the written format so it's recorded properly and documented in the record.
Okay. Thank you.
Just add it to the motion.
Yeah.
Condition.
is there any lighting that will be above that fence?
We have proposed lighting. It'll meet the ordinance is what we have proposed right now. I can't speak to that in general other than we'll have to go through that process of the DPR process. I'm not sure if we have those at this time as separate poles or if we had them as wall packs shining out towards that. But obviously we have to meet the lighting requirements at the foot candles at the property line, so we can't have spillover.
What's the plan for lighting is it going to be 24/7 lighting?
What do you plan on?
Only for security lighting. All the lighting wouldn't be on. The operation's 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Monday through Friday, so we're not going to run the lights
In the yard?
24/7, right?
Okay.
It would only be for security purposes, just, if somebody showed up at night, the security camera can get them on camera.
Okay.
Is it going to be facing towards the building and away from,
Like Jerry said, until we do the photometric study to position the lights, we don't exactly know. Sometimes it's on the building, sometimes it's shining in from the
Right.
outer edge, but we haven't completed that yet.
I just don't like approving things when I don't know the for sure plan.
But Jerry can speak to the ordinance there are some things that we have to do that would.
There are measures, above and beyond this particular, we're really dealing with a special exception
use.
tonight.
Yeah.
That process will go through the DPR and obviously have to meet those conditions as it goes to DPR, Plan Commission, et cetera.
And I saw in here that it's not going to be 24 hours, it's going to be 8 to
Correct.
5 or, correct. All right, any other discussion? Any opinions?
No, I mean, I'm pleased to see condition 1, preventing some of those other uses.
Yeah.
Under that, so.
If you're ready to make a motion, feel free.
Just waiting for you to.
Go for it.
All right. I'll make a motion that docket BZA 25-007-SE, special exception for a Gerber Collision Center is consistent with UDO 11.13 and should be approved subject to the following. Conditions 1 and 2 as stated in the staff report. A third condition of an 8-foot tall fence, as shown, as the part of the fencing shown in submitted documents. The findings in the staff report and staff recommendations, the submitted findings of fact, in substantial compliance with the submitted site plans. We good? All right.
Thank you. So we have a motion by Mr. McGee. Do we have a second?
Second.
Thank you. We have a second by Mr. Akins. Would you call the roll, please?
Mr. Snowberger,
Yes.
Mr. McGee,
Aye.
Mr. Kingshill,
Yes.
Ms. Haas,
No.
Mr. Akins.
Yes.
Let the records reflect the motion passes 4-1.
Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you. All right, that concludes our new business. I don't think we have any other business. Looks like announcements, town emails.
I just wanted to check to make sure everybody has set up their town emails.
No.
I have.
I have, I don't know if
right
I'm,
now.
I haven't seen much coming through on it.
I've not been sending emails through, that's why I wanted to check, because we would like to move in that direction.
Yeah, I'll do it tonight.
Okay.
It's not the easiest process, so don't make promises maybe you can't keep, but, because I kind of said that too when I first, yeah.
We do have Michael here this evening if you
Yeah, the
need
expert's up there,
assistance
so.
before you leave.
Okay. Yes, that would be welcome.
The other item I wanted to mention is next month's meeting is on July 10th. It's one of the meetings that we moved off of the regular schedule.
Okay, that's what day of the week then?
It's a Thursday.
Thursday, Thursday, oh, okay.
It's a week later
Because
than it
it's
normally.
4th of July.
Correct.
Yeah.
Hey, the fireworks will be
Oh,
July 3rd. You just want to
thank
move it
you.
back to then?
Actually, we did not have any petitions filed, so we will not have a meeting in July.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we're past the deadline.
Reminded me.
Now you know the meeting that you won't go to.
Yeah, right.
I forgot about that.
All right, anything else on the announcements? No. Okay. All right, we're ready for a motion to adjourn. Anyone?
So move.
Second.
All right, we've got a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.